I'm now joined in studio by Dr. Sheila Forman, great friend of the program. Sheila, welcome to our second season.
I can't believe it's second season. Congratulations.
So lovely to have you here.
Thank you.
Now, we were just talking with Dr. Bill Callahan about this great healthcare reform debate, and I guess 2009 is going to go down as that's the year that all of this really came to a head. The thing that I can't seem to get past personally is all of the anger that people seem to be feeling about this, and Dr. Bill referred to it as like a volcano coming from within. I was kind of looking to hear from you the kindler, gentler side of it, if we were, because you've always been so good with that here on the program. But why are people allowing themselves to get so completely angry over what essentially is a political topic? We've not really seen this before.
We haven't seen it before, certainly not in my lifetime, and it is fascinating. And I did agree with something else that Dr. Callahan said. Not only is it a volcano, but the volcano is being driven by fear and anxiety. And I agree with him completely. There is so much misinformation, or maybe even more importantly, lack of understanding of what's really going on. What does this health care reform mean? And what does it mean for the individual? Will they have coverage? Will they have coverage for what they need? Will they be able to go to their own doctors? Will there be money? There's so many questions, and that provokes anxiety and fear. And for many people who don't know how to address their anxiety and fear, it manifests as anger.
Yeah, and I tend to look at it with kind of a flippant, almost caustic attitude, because I've always been concerned if the federal government can get into that kind of a business. I've seen how they run the post office. I've seen how they run Congress. So I have my own concerns, but I haven't allowed it to get me angry. I mean, I can understand if someone wants to get angry and protest a war. I can understand if someone wants to get angry and protest, say, a factory that has all the jobs in that town being shut down. But this seems to be something altogether otherworldly that I've not experienced before.
I think part of it is that it does tap each person individually. We all require health care in one form or another. Many of us are insured, many more of us are uninsured. So it is a personal issue. But I think it may also be a transfer of anger. What's interesting, because I'm also a lawyer as well as a psychologist, and I'm fascinated by all the town meetings and this display of democracy where the average individual is given an opportunity to speak their piece, to express their freedom of speech as we have in our First Amendment. And here's an opportunity for people to say what's on their mind. And it may be an avenue for people to express anger, not just about health care, but maybe just what they're feeling in general. People are walking around, they're like little ticking time bombs. Everybody is distressed over the economy, over the health care reform, over the wars going on in the Middle East. And there's no voice, there's no place to talk about it. These town hall meetings may be just that place, and all that anger, rage, and fear gets channeled into the health care reform because that's the venue, but it may not all be driven specifically by health care reform.
You brought up an interesting point because, we are dealing with a war that seems to have been going on forever, and we don't even really know why we were there to begin with. We don't really know why we're still there. We've got the worst economy that most of us have experienced in our lifetimes, and now we have this. And you add all three of these things together, and that brings on a tremendous amount of stress, not only on individuals, but on families as well.
Absolutely. Everybody's walking around sort of in an altered state of consciousness, in that they're stressed out. You see it everywhere. And so it's going to show up. And like Dr. Callahan said, if you don't know how to deal with these emotions, if you're not trained what to do with them, how to even correctly identify them, they're going to leak out. That's the term that I use. And they leak out everywhere. They can leak out in our relationships. They can leak out at town hall meetings. They can leak out as soon as somebody sees a camera and they start talking.
Dr. Bill and I said, okay, take a deep breath and relax. What would be your best advice?
Take 2 deep breaths and relax. It's that bad.
Okay. Once again, Dr. Sheila Forman, again, a great friend of the program here at Health This Week. Doctors, thanks so much.
My pleasure.